Okie dokie. I am in the voice prod, and we're good to go.
Check.
Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast.
Nice.
Figured I'd get us going
Love
here.
it. Taking the reins.
It is just Betty and I today. We are fresh. We are off of support drive.
Yes.
Wally is
Woo.
flying to Africa today.
Mm-hmm. With
Maybe
Compassion
right now.
International. Yeah, we don't know when his flight leaves. I should look into that. But I know that he's not much of a nervous flyer, but his wife is.
Ooh, and we got some.
Yeah.
We've had some stuff happen.
I know. I hope that they're not playing the news in the airport because Marty might see that story about the plane
Yeah, I hope they're
flipping
not
over
flying Delta.
upside down. Yeah, craziness. But I will tell you this. So, yes, we just got out of support drive. If you supported us during that, hey, we did see some potties. Yeah. Thank you so much. Because I'm telling you what, Wally has to be careful with taking his heart medication. He really gets jazzed up, okay? And also, too, we talked about this before he left on Friday. He had, starting on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, because we had coffee the day before.
Okay, so out of 7 days, he had six Dunkin' coffees, okay? And one of those, I know, was the Holy Trinity.
He did an extra large, too.
Yeah. So he did the Beast, which is the large, but then he did the Holy Trinity,
because it's
which
7.
is the extra large.
I get it now.
Really? It took you that long to get it?
Sometimes.
Oh, my word.
I don't get sleep these days.
Wow.
No,
okay.
no, that's funny. Yeah, no, and yeah.
But I mean, it's
he didn't
scary.
take it easy.
No, and I mean, his heart can't take it. But anyways, on top of that, so I was telling Gavin a little bit about this. Wally called me on Sunday, I believe it was, Sunday afternoon, and we were talking about a work thing, but eventually got to talking about him and Marty packing for the trip. And you know how him and Marty are super picky about their food. Mm-hmm. And you can imagine, you go to Africa, you're not going to find yourself eating American food.
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen.
Shift your expectations.
So his bright idea, and he was super proud of this, he said, Betty, guess what I'm going to do? And I said, what? And he said, instead of taking the meals that they offer you on the flights, because they're terrible, I'm going to bring with me a pop-open can of SpaghettiOs.
Which he did when he went to North Carolina to help with like the flooding.
Yeah, and he even said, I've done it before.
It's
not a big
now.
deal. So that means this grown man at 56 years old is going to be in his seat in coach. And when they start they start handing out dinner, he's going to get out his Chef Boyardee can out of his backpack, get a spoon, and start eating. And on top of that, he also said he's taking with him Uncrustables, which are peanut butter and jelly, but they're supposed to be frozen. And then you let them thaw out, and then you eat them. But
I respect that one.
You do?
Yeah, they're delicious.
But I mean, he's not going to get food poisoning or something, right?
No.
Well, I don't know. I mean, why are they frozen?
No, just because when you freeze it, it's got that jelly and the peanut butter in the middle, and for whatever reason, it's like a fun texture thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would think, why are they putting it in the freezer?
You're giving judgy right now.
I'm sorry. I am. You're right. But I am worried. Anyways.
He should be fine.
Yeah. He's gone to Africa, and they won't be back till middle of next week. So.
Yeah. And I will say this, too. We are probably... We're here today.
We're here today
to give you what you deserve.
It's questionable for tomorrow because we are expected to get 3 to 5 inches of snow tomorrow morning.
Curious where that's at. The whole country is getting hit right now. Not the whole, but a lot of people are getting hit.
Well, we're not cut from the same cloth as Wally in that when there's black ice and snow on the roads, we will try 15 times, and I'm not making that up, 15 times to get up the steep incline that is the radio station. Both mine and Gavin's cars are not built for it. Well, neither is Wally's, but he doesn't care. He's got a death wish or something. I'm not sure. So anyways, it's touch and go about tomorrow. Yeah. We're not sure what's going to happen. It all depends. So, all right, let's get into some of the stories. I want to start off with mine.
Okay, go.
So recently, maybe like a month ago, Jubal, my car, he's a 2012 Nissan Versa, and he's got 135,000 miles on him, which is pretty good. But anyways, I try and take good care of him. But just last year alone, I spent around a little over $2,000 to get him back up and running.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's okay. But it's getting to the point where if we had a come to Jesus meeting, me and Jubal, and I said, listen, you've been a great friend, but one more thing, I'm going to have to figure something else out.
It's a horse with a bad ankle at this point. You're like, you know what? Like,
it's an old Yeller situation.
We got to plow the fields, and it's not going to work if you're not
I know.
not
and
starting
I feel
every
bad.
day.
I feel bad because the thing is I grew up watching The Brave Little Toaster as a kid. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I did.
But there's that part, and it will cut you to the core, where the Brave Little Toaster makes it to this field where they have like all these rundown cars, and they're talking about the good times they had with their owners, and then they're getting squashed into little bitty cubes.
It's dark.
Don't roll your eyes at me. It's sad.
No.
And that's what I think is going to happen to Jubal. And my heart goes out to him because he's been a good friend.
Is he going to be in the yard? Oh man, that Betty. She was the best.
He might, and he'll be covered in cat hair, and he'll say, "I got her through some tough times when she was crying." I don't know. It just makes me sad. Anyways, so I've been looking at cars, and I found this article that they're going by, what is it called? J.D. Power, okay? The U.S. Vehicle Dependability Study of 2025. Now, Gavin, has your dad ever been like, now, son, you need to go for this brand of car, or don't ever get this kind of car?
We are a Honda family. Like I grew up with we always had a van, a Pilot, and somebody had a Civic. And right now they have CRVs and HRVs back at home.
Interesting.
So we've always been a Honda family.
And do you have two Hondas?
I have a Honda Civic right now, and then we bought a Subaru Forester from my brother-in-law.
Okay. All right. Well, according to the 2025 U.S. Vehicle Dependability Study, they say Lexus is the top ranking brand for the third consecutive year. That means if you have an Lexus car, there's a good chance it's going to be super dependable and it's not going to let you down. Is
Lexus higher end though?
Yes, it's more expensive, so you're paying for it.
Makes sense.
It was followed by Buick, which I put Buick in like the grandma cars because they're
I
like,
do too.
Like the Cadillac.
They tried
or
to make
something.
them. You think Cadillacs are grandma cars?
Yeah.
I like Cadillacs.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Darn.
Oh, yeah. I put them as a grandma car. Buick.
It's a Buick.
Mazda, Toyota, and Cadillac are the top ranking ones.
So that is so interesting.
In dependability.
In dependability. And that's what I've generally heard. And, through the car buying process was that like Hondas and Toyotas are generally known to be like the best sort of like anybody can get it car. It's obviously not the high end, but it's not the super low end. So I'm surprised to not hear Honda in that.
So Mazda and Toyota are for the blue collar.
We looked at Mazdas.
Us people. So, okay, now then when you go to the other side, so the least dependable cars, they said Volkswagen comes in dead last.
I don't see too many Volkswagens.
I had a roommate that had a Volkswagen, and I know that she had a problem with if any kind of part needed to be replaced or looked at, they made it where you had to go to their facility to get it looked at or replaced. Yeah. So, of course, that costs a lot. Okay, on top of that, so Volkswagen is last, but then also making it in last was Chrysler with the next worst, followed by Jeep.
Jeep, I have always heard, and it's funny because the people who love Jeeps are like, they love Jeeps.
Well, they love it because of
it's like a community.
Yeah.
People who like own their Jeeps, and most people who own Jeeps, it feels like they own the classic looking Jeep, but you do have like Jeep Renegades and all these other vehicles.
Yeah, but I do know, I've heard horrible things about Jeep.
It's when you go to like sites like Carvana or other places, and if you plug in your price range, you generally, in my mind, tend to see a lot more Jeeps when you go to the low end of things, which is not to judge people for like what they have purchased, because not everybody can afford.
But you need to know what you're going into.
Yep.
And also making it last was Audi and Land Rover.
I don't even know. I can't picture a Land Rover.
Aren't Audis the circles?
Yeah.
They kind of look like the Olympic circles. Anyway, All of those are dead last. Nissan didn't even make it. That's what Jubal is. But anyways, there you have it. All right, Gavin, go.
Oh, that's what a Land Rover is. Okay, so the thing that I'm talking about is this a list of 10 things restaurant servers secretly hate. Now, we love going to restaurants.
Who doesn't?
Be on your best behavior, obviously. Do your best. Treat them like they're like any other, like they're people. Treat them well. But these are the things that they hate. So they say they hate when you walk in and sit at a table that hasn't been cleared, if it's got like dirty dishes and stuff, which is, I've been in a situation when I go in and you're looking around, you're like, okay, well, I got to sit somewhere and that's available, but then they have to clear it while you're sitting there. So I think maybe they just don't like that you're sitting there while they do it.
To me, that sounds like it's understaffed. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, and then what was the next one? Oh, parents who let their kids throw or just roam and do crazy stuff while they're
my
there.
word. Yes. I remember one time I went to a Mexican restaurant and there was a kid there in a high chair. And I mean, just taking handfuls of rice and just throwing it. And they left it. But at that point, you should tip really, really well.
Yeah, if you let it happen.
Or your kid accidentally did something and you're like, ugh.
Well, and we're at the point now where, Bennett's starting to get to his like he'll grab everything phase. And so we were at Chewy's a little while ago, and he, in essence, like Haley was holding him and she would lean over to get a bite and then she'd bring it back. And you could just tell that he was working it out in his head. He was like, 1, 2, and then on 3, and he grabbed the rice as he leaned over, and you saw him like calculate that he was going to grab the rice.
Poor baby, starving.
It was so funny. We tried to give him avocado there. He didn't like it.
I don't blame him.
But yeah, we're getting into that phase where I'm like, man, I have to be in control of him. He's not. His motor skills are there now, and it's bad. Next thing was snapping or whistling to get their attention. Now, are you okay with a snap here and there?
It's weird.
A wave is fine to me.
A wave is different, yeah, but it comes across as hoity-toity if you're snapping at someone or whistling. Yeah. It's like, come on, who do you think you are? But
if you
waving.
Say, excuse me, like if you do that.
Yeah, especially, too, if they're so busy and they haven't come to see you in a couple minutes. Like, yeah.
And then the last one, when you come in 15 minutes before they close.
Oh, come on. Everybody knows you shouldn't do that.
If it's a fast food place. Like, if it's a fast food place, that's fine because you're just behind the counter. Yeah. Fast food, that's fine. But if it's a sit-down place and you're just trying to, if you're just trying to, like, catch the last little bite to eat, like, don't do that. Because I worked at, like, the shoe store, and when someone would come in 5 minutes before the store closed and they kind of start perusing, you're like, no. Like, if you came in here and you're like, hey, no, I got to get this. I know what shoes I want. I'm just going to grab them and check out.
That's different.
Cool. Because, honor it. Like, we are open.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's when you start treating people like they're your slaves or like they owe you something, then it becomes a problem. Yeah. For sure. Well, now we know what not to do.
Don't do it.
Okay, so let's get to birthdays. We've got a few that we've got to catch up on. Because,
we spent a while out.
Yeah. So here we go. The first one, we're going to get back to her question. It's a great one. But Emma, she just has a question. Emma, hold your horses. Okay, she has no birthday. Emma just put in a birthday request, but she just had a question. We'll get back to your question. Okay, now let's move on to Amanda. Amanda wants to wish Paige, her daughter, a happy birthday. She celebrated on the 11th, said she's a wonderful daughter who is turning 18. She has been through tough times with me and still stood back up when she got pushed down. I love her with my whole heart. Happy birthday, Paige.
Happy birthday.
Then Jennifer wants to wish Paige a happy birthday as well. Said she's the best niece that I have, and I have almost 20.
Wow.
Woo!
And she does have a favorite.
Dang.
At that point, you can. If you only have 2 or 3, you probably shouldn't choose. Though you will, and you do.
You will, for
Out
sure.
of 20, you definitely can choose.
Well, congratulations, Paige. You're doing something right. Avi wants to wish brother Nahum a happy birthday. Said he loves basketball and is wanting to go on the medical field. Loves his mom and loves his PS5 and Spider-Man. He is turning 16
Oh, sweet.
That's a big one.
16.
Sarah celebrated a birthday on the 16th. Happy belated birthday, Sarah. She said, I've been a potty for 4 years, and I live in upstate New York.
Oh, that's
wow. She must hear me and
we're not
think,
up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She must think, woo, we're down into the hollers.
I do remember the first time I drove through Arkansas, I think, and that was the first time I ever heard a country accent, and I remember being like flabbergasted. And now I married one. I see you.
You see me on the daily.
I see you more than just about any other human being in my life.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
She said she's from upstate New York, so I love the podcast Aftercast since there isn't a way FM in my area. Oh, Sarah, that's so sweet. Thank you. She has a burning building question. One for me, Elvis or Mike Rowe. Listen, they're both.
One's alive.
Yeah, one is dead, supposedly.
We
don't know.
I talked to a friend about this yesterday.
We don't know.
It's like a pastor in Kentucky.
If anyone could fake their own death, it would be Elvis. That's all I'm saying. But I have a better chance with Mike Rowe since he's closer to my age. But then again, Elvis back in his younger day. Whoo,
oh, no, he was.
But then when Mike Rowe speaks, but when Elvis speaks.
And he sings.
Man, I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Romeo and Juliet. I'll just let myself go with them because they're just fine. Okay, Gavin. Burning building, Harry Potter or Luke Skywalker?
Oh, Harry Potter.
Why?
I'll go with Harry. Partially because it's my wife's favorite thing in the world and favorite
something
book series.
To bond over.
So it's our thing. It's mostly her thing, but it's our thing, and I do like it. So Harry Potter.
And then Zach wants to wish his daughter Emmeline a happy birthday today.
That's a pretty name.
Emmeline or Emmeline? Emmeline.
Yeah.
Emmeline. I'm going to
go
with
Emmeline. Does it have an E at the end?
It's a Y-N. E-M-A-L-Y-N. That's Lynn.
Emmeline, yeah.
Emmeline. Okay. Maybe that's the Southern coming out of me. Emmeline. She said she's turning 6 years old today. She's funny, cuddly, and a big ball of sass. Ooh. And her mother and I love her to the moon and back. Happy birthday, Emmeline or Emmeline. Then let's get to Emma's question. Okay. So Emma said, what is the last funny thing you Googled? Now, it sounds like Gavin's got a good one. I think I've got one, but I think it's funny, but you might find it funny too. I panicked last night and Googled, when is Mule Day? Okay? Because I was afraid that I had missed it. Mule Day is, you may have heard me talk about it, but there is a town next over to us. It's Columbia, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And every year.
I've only been one time.
Oh, I go as much as I can. So every year they have Mule Day, and it's because Columbia is known for breeding mules.
It began as Breeders' Day.
It did?
Yeah, that's what
now
Google
it's Mule
says.
Day.
I like Mule Day so much more than
But anyways,
Breeders' Day.
You get to go and you see a parade and you see horses with overalls on.
Goodness.
There's a guy on a lawnmower, a riding lawnmower, and he puts a porta potty over his body and lawnmower and cuts a little hole out so you can see him. Awesome. And it's to advertise for Roto-Rooter, like the Columbia branch of it. Anyways, he's my favorite in the whole
Jesus
parade.
is there too, right?
Jesus was there 1 year. He only made one appearance, and after that, he wasn't there anymore. It was 1 year that a guy came dressed as Elvis. Oh my gosh, I'm not putting Jesus and Elvis on the same level. But anyway, a guy came dressed as Jesus. Had the robe, the sandals, and everything. I was standing there in a Shell parking lot and with my funnel cake that I had just ordered. And I saw Jesus coming down, and he was hugging babies, shaking hands. And I'm like, I know that guy. Anyways, I only saw him once. And he hasn't made another appearance.
I am really intrigued just having gone and Googled it and then seeing the history of Mule Day. So it says the Mule Day has been a popular Columbia tradition since the 1840s.
Wow.
Back when it was Breeders' Day, a single day livestock show and a mule market event. So it used to be, a day of trade and commerce and all these things.
It's not that anymore.
The first official Mule Day was held in 1934. So last year you guys had the 90-year anniversary was last year.
I got the T-shirt. Yep, because every year they sell a T-shirt. all kinds of merch. And
So-
if it's cute, I want it. 9 times out of 10, it's cute. I need it.
In 2034, they'll be doing the 100 year.
Oh my
one.
gosh!
That's
I
gonna
have to be there for that.
That's gonna be big.
That's going to be a big year for us. Anyways, that's what I Googled. Gavin, what's your last weird Google?
Okay, so I've got a couple that I went back because I did a lot of music. Okay, I looked up the plural of octopus. It's not octopi.
Oh, it's not.
It's octopuses. So
It is?
yeah. Which
Why
do we do these things?
This is why English is one of the hardest
Languages for other
languages
people
to read
learn.
because it doesn't even make sense to us.
Yeah,
Like
so-
there are rules that make no sense. Nate Bargatze did a great bit on this in SNL. I'm like Wally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But he is the best.
But
And then I looked up bursitis just because. Shout out
got
to
it?
no, that would be great though. Shout out to my dad for having the
your
bursitis.
dad has the bursitis.
Get better, Dad. Get better soon, Dad. He and my grandma were on a walk a while back, and I guess she fell.
Uh-huh.
She's fine, but
Bless
for
her.
somehow she took him down with her, or he was
Oh.
trying to catch her.
Oh.
And so when he went down, he broke a bone in his wrist.
And
so he went into the hospital and he's on a cast for that. But then a day later, he said that he started feeling like a stabbing pain in his knee. And bursitis is just like swelling in the knee. So it took time to swell.
So it just goes away on its own. It's not something you have
It's
to...
an over time healing thing,
Okay.
according to Google or
Yeah.
according to what he told me.
Bless.
But that's a little rough patch for
So he got all the
him.
injuries and she didn't?
No, she's the
Well,
the
what a
80
gentleman.
plus year old. Yeah, it was
So sweet.
it was great that she didn't get hurt. I think she said she was like sore, but like for him to go through all that, I would be bummed to not be the one who fell and
and be hurt.
so severely hurt.
And speaking of your grandma, reminded me, yesterday, my mom and we went to Opry Mills Mall so I could return some jeans. And it made me think about your story with your grandma recently, where y'all went to Opry Mills Mall and
Which
they were
store
like,
were you,
shut it down.
Were you American Eagle?
No, we went to
H&M?
Levi's.
Oh,
the Levi's
bougie.
store. Is it?
No.
Oh. Anyways, I was telling my mom about the whole thing, and I was like, and they were locked back there for 2 hours.
It was like
Wasn't
an hour.
Oh, well, it sounded better with 2 hours.
No,
anyway.
but it's not a great place to
No, because
get
people
stuck.
got into a fist fight at the Chili's over there,
Yeah.
which is so stupid.
Someone, I think,
was
updated,
it during the day or was it at night?
Yeah, it was like 3 p.m. I think somebody updated the story for me saying that the chair there was like a metal chair that like in the midst of all their this fighting and commotion, a metal chair hit the ground, and so when it hit the ground, apparently
people thought
that
it
caused
might
people to think it was a
gun
fire.
situation.
So
oof, wow.
I can understand where.
Anyways, thankfully
panic
nothing
came
like
from.
that happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad that you had a safe and casual trip to the mall.
I hate the mall.
Do you? Yeah, because that
I hate
one
it with a passion.
because that one is, and you went yesterday. You said okay, so at least you didn't go on the weekend. Going on the weekend is just
I would never.
a nightmare. So that
and,
one's
and
always
then on
busy.
top of around Christmas time, don't ever do it. It's ridiculous.
Our malls here in town are terrible.
I'll
They're
tell
great.
you one more thing that made me angry. I try not to be an angry person, but my mom and I also went to Ulta Cosmetics. It's a girl store.
I know what it is.
Oh, okay. Just in case you didn't know, we had to wait for this woman. I thought it was going to be a man. Turned out to be a woman, and she was driving this big, ridiculous, huge SUV. And she had to back that thing up into a parking space. And there were at least 3 cars that were waiting on her. I cannot fathom this line of thinking where people need to just stop for me so I can back into a spot. Once again, I've said this before, this is a pet peeve of mine, as well as the loud mufflers on cars. It all seems to have to do with cars. And then afterwards, she got out of her car while it was still running to check her sides and the end to make sure that she hadn't hit a car or anything. At that point, if you can't back it up, just park it like a normal person.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, now I'm sounding like a lot like Wally.
Yeah. The older you get,
I apologize,
girl,
guys.
You're
I
not
apologize.
even middle-aged yet.
I know, it's terrible. All right, well, that's it for us. Like Gavin said, we could be out tomorrow. It's touch and go. We'll see how it runs, but you'll be able to make it without us just for that little bitty day.
Stay strong.
Yeah,
Please.
stay strong.
Pray
We're here
for us.
for you, okay? T's and P's. Okay, bye. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.